Saturday night in the big city, primetime FS1 college football in Minneapolis. Tonight we've got a real good one coming your way. Out of the Mountain West, we've got the Fresno State Bulldogs taking on the Big Ten's Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Hello everyone, so glad you could join us on an absolutely glorious Saturday night here in the Twin Cities with my partner, Ben Lieber. I am Eric Collins, and this Minnesota Golden Gopher football program, they think they've got a good thing going. Second year under head coach P.J. Fleck, and Ben, they think they found their quarterback. All night long, we're going to be talking about an 18-year-old true freshman walk-on quarterback in Zack Annexstad.
Yeah, quite impressive. I know it's a small sample size, one game, but you watch the film of Zack, and it's pretty incredible what he was able to do. Body language-wise, he has that poise, he has that natural leadership skills. He had to overcome some adversity last week, and then physically, he's got a strong arm, moves around really well. Most impressive to me was the anticipation that he threw the ball with.
All right, they're going to take on a Fresno State team that had an absolute cakewalk a week ago. They hung 79 points on the Idaho Vandals. It's not going to be so easy tonight. But Fresno State, they still think they got a good shot. They were good a year ago with 10 wins. They think they can be even better this year.
And quite the turnaround. 2 years ago, they had 1 win, and last year with 10 wins. So a lot to be optimistic about. Unlike the Golden Gophers, this is one of the most experienced teams in the country. Offensively, they're going to run the ball and they're going to pound it right at you. And then you're going to pack the box in, they're going to go throw over the top. They have that ability to be explosive in the pass game. Defensively, confusing defense. It looks like a 3-4. It comes from a lot of different angles. It puts a lot of pressure, especially on a young quarterback. A lot to be excited for with this Fresno State team.
Minnesota Golden Gophers taking the field. Off to a good start here in 2018 with a win over New Mexico State a week ago. Tonight they'll take on Fresno State for the first time in program history. Couldn't ask for a better night to play some football. Downtown just a stone's throw away from TCF Bank Stadium. Temperature of 73 degrees. Forecast is sunny while the sun is still out. And not a lot of mosquitoes, which is always important when you come to this part of the world this time of the year. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, sponsored by the Lincoln Motor Company.
Well, it's all going to be about defense for me. Fresno State, if they can manage to hold Minnesota under 100 yards, they have a great chance of winning. Minnesota, in 7 losses last year, only rushed for 100 yards as opposed to 270 in some of the wins. And then defensively for Minnesota, listen, just bend but don't break. Fresno State, they get antsy, they get impatient, they want to get the ball down the field, and they sputter in the red zone. So allow them to pick up some plays, but once you get in the red zone, buckle down because they have a hard time converting touchdowns.
All right, this is interesting already. Fresno State actually won the toss. They've deferred the option to the second half. So Minnesota is going to receive this opening kickoff. Here we go from 1 yard deep in the end zone. Rodney Smith is hit hard as he crosses over the 20, and that is where the Minnesota Golden Gopher offense will begin. Remember, they are led by the true freshman walk-on quarterback, Zack Annexstad.
Well, like we said in the open, I really like what I saw on film last week, and he made some mistakes, and we all understand that, but talking to Coach Fleck, he said poise was so impressive to him when he watched it back. He had a fumble in the game, he came back, he was poised. You know, he shows a lot of just innate leadership skills, and he can throw the football now.
18-year-old from Northland, Minnesota. Wants to throw on first down, tons of time. Throws a rocket that's knocked away. Good closing speed defensively by the safety, Mike Bell.
Well, Mike Bell just sat back right in the zone. It's a 2-deep shell, 2 high safeties, and you know, that's the one thing Zack's got to do a little bit better, and it's really hard, is don't telegraph some of these throws. You got to look off defenders. That was easily telegraphed with the receiver coming across the field left to right. Pretty easy for Mike Bell to knock that thing down.
Now to the ground for the first time. This is the 5th-year senior, Rodney Smith, who stood up after a pickup of a yard. So it'll bring up 3rd down and 9. Jasad Haynes, one of the many leaders on this veteran Fresno State defense, in on the stop.
Yeah, Fresno State's defense, they had to replace 5 upperclassmen last year. So the front of their defense is pretty inexperienced. You're going to see a lot of guys running in and out, and that's by design to keep them fresh, but also to get some guys some game reps. But the back 7 of this defense, all returning, all very experienced.
Now 4 receivers into the game. 3rd down and 9. Pocket collapses, little middle screen. Rodney Smith charging towards the first down line, and he's got it. Nice bit of play call right there on 3rd down and 9.
And you'll see a lot of times on 3rd down situations, you're going to look for something quick. Quarterback draw, and a lot of screen game. Fresno State decides not to play man-to-man. You'll see that's why there's no linebacker, there's no safety on his coverage, and he's able to just kind of sneak through and pick up the first down.
They fake it to Williams. Annexstad wants to throw. That was a beautifully thrown ball. Tyler Johnson had it go right through the fingertips.
You know, this was a little bit of an issue last week as well. His very first pass to Tyler Johnson, you're going to see right on the bottom of your screen, a clear out by the number 2, and he's going to come on a dig route right there and open up that hole. That's a good ball. It comes in with a little velocity. Tyler needs to get his head snapped back just a little bit more, but he had a drop in the opening pass last week, and first pass to him this week, he drops as well.
Seth Green comes in at one of the wide receiver spots. He's their Wildcat quarterback. Inside handoff to Williams. Not much there to bring up another 3rd down and long.
It's just a lot to ask for any freshman right now as you see Bryce Williams going off the field. But, you know, you want to get some experience and some reps, and you always feel like you want to be the man. But sometimes in those situations, it's hard to get mentally into the game when an injury happens and you're sort of forced in there.
New running back into the game, Jonathan Femi Cole, redshirt junior from Ontario, Canada. So the Gophers already going deeper down that depth chart than they would have liked with runners. And that's an incompletion. Will bring up 4th down. The punt unit will have to come on for the Golden Gophers.
Well, unfortunately, it seems like the injury sort of just brought down the energy of the whole building. A lot of anticipation in that first drive. The crowd was into it, and you can just sort of feel it and hear it, right? They're just much quieter. I think they're obviously concerned about one of their best offensive players, but they had a little drive going until that injury happened. I think that sort of sapped their energy.
Jacob Herbers, lefty. High punt, not much distance. Lands at the 33 and will roll inside the 30. Nice hang time, a little bit over 5 seconds on the hang time for Herbers. And now we'll see Fresno State for the first time on offense. They've got a 5th-year senior quarterback, Marcus McMaryion, as their signal caller.
Yeah, McMaryion comes in from Oregon State, transferred in last year really late into camp, and it wasn't until the 4th game that they decided to go with him as their starter. He's been their starter ever since, and you know, he's listed as sort of a dual threat guy, but he really only needs to run on critical situations. He's not one of those guys that they're going to have him out in the pocket a lot. He wants to throw the ball and throw the ball down the field.
Even though Fresno State scored 79 points a week ago in their win over Idaho, not a touchdown pass for McMaryion. Inside handoff, DeJounte O'Neal sniffed out well. Tackle made in space by Jacob Huff.
And we're already seeing right now on offense for Fresno State what they talked to us about in yesterday's coaches meetings. They said, hey, we're going to come out and we're going to feature our empty package a little bit more. First play of the game, they went out empty, and they will spread out this Minnesota defense and see if they can tackle in space.
Jordan Mims, the back behind McMaryion. This is Mims with a carry, tackled from behind. Blake Cashman, his first tackle of the night. We expect to call his name quite a bit. Pickup of 2.
Right, Blake Cashman, just like Annexstad for offense. We're going to talk about Cashman a lot in this game. He is a true grinder. He's a football player in every sense of the word. He's active, he's productive, he is awfully fun to watch.
5 receiver set for Fresno State. Slant, it's caught. Micaiah Quick, transfer from Oklahoma. And that'll be a first down for Fresno State.
We'll take a left side of your screen. Quick's gonna be lined up against Antoine Winfield Jr., the versatile stud on defense. He wins across his face in the slant.
Another touch for O'Neal. Scampers into the secondary. That'll be a pickup of 9 on first down.
This is what you have to like about Fresno State right now. They're getting chunk yardage on first down. It's something that was a little bit of a problem last year. Not doing great on first down, put themselves in some bad situations, but right now doing a tremendous job, already facing just a 2nd and 1.
Bulldogs alternating between O'Neal and Mims as the tailback. Sophomore Mims in the backfield now. Second and 1, the entire playbook's open, you'd imagine. McMaryion, nobody home.
Well, they're going right just past the first down marker. They're not going to try to test this team down the field. They just want to keep picking up first downs. And really a nice job by Minnesota's defense to go man-to-man coverage on the outside. Had a linebacker matched up on a receiver right there. Does a nice job of just staying right on top of him. Maybe a miscommunication on the route and felt incomplete for McMaryion.
Late substitution defensively for Minnesota. Kamal Martin enters the game. Inside handoff, nothing doing. Wow! What a stick by Cashman. Snipped it up beautifully. It's a loss of a pair.
Well, you could tell Minnesota was expecting the run. They packed the box down, and you'll see Cashman right here. He's just going to penetrate that A-gap. Get that shoulder down, keep his legs driving. What a strong tackle on a big back. Tremendous job against a power-running football team. Good job by Blake Cashman.
Bulldogs will have to punt it away. Blake Cusick. High spiral. Gophers get away from it, and it'll bounce through the end zone. So a whole bunch of nothing for both sides. First time with the football. When we come back, Minnesota back on offense. Just shy of 5 minutes into this one, Fresno State and Minnesota. Second year under the watchful eye of P.J. Fleck here in Minneapolis. 37-year-old. High hopes, thinks the offense is heading in the right direction under this young quarterback, Zack Annexstad, but a little bit of trouble. Already an injury that may be substantial. Rodney Smith, their senior tailback, is not on the field. His backup, Bryce Williams, is tackled before he got to the line of scrimmage. Bryce Williams, very young, just a true freshman, and P.J. Fleck is going to deal a lot with that all season long. True freshman and redshirt freshman all over this Gopher roster.
Well, and you look at Rodney Smith, not only just production-wise, but leadership-wise. You know, of the skill position guys, being a senior, he was the oldest guy in the whole group. You know, you got a couple seniors in the offensive line, but, you know, you're missing a lot of that leadership, especially if things get down to a crucial situation.
Out route, pass is complete to a freshman, Rashad Bateman.
See, I just love how this ball comes out of Zack's hands. He throws the ball with nice timing right before he broke on the outside. And that's a long throw, and he threw it with touch and accuracy to one of their young playmakers as well as Rashad Bateman, a freshman from Georgia, comes all the way up from SEC country to play here in Minnesota.
Full head of steam, best run of the evening for Bryce Williams.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's the best run for him. You know, like I said, sometimes when you get thrown into action because of injury, it takes you a while to sort of get mentally into it, but that was a nice, strong run by Bryce.
Quick hitter again. This time Philip Howard makes the first man miss, charges over the 40 for another first down.
Boy, take a look at this. Chris Ottman-Bell, he's going to be a receiver on the bottom here, and he throws a terrific block. Look at that. Hat in hands, completely legal, and just drives down the defender into the ground, which opens up that little lane on the outside.
Second offensive possession for Minnesota. They've made it inside the 40. First down throw. Another catch, Bateman. Oh, look at that speed. He gets down inside the 25. He had a couple of defenders right next to him and just split both of them.
Yeah, not a whole lot of creativity on this offense right now. Just some quick passing game to get Zack Annexstad in a rhythm. You've got some young, talented receivers with some speed, and look at that. Just like you said, hit that little crease, gets north and south, picks up another first down.
Third catch of this drive for the true freshman from Tifton, Georgia. And now a Wildcat situation. Seth Green comes into the game. He'll take the direct snap. Green scored a couple of touchdowns out of this Wildcat a week ago. He's a big man, hard to bring down. He's inside the 15.
He got a little impatient right there on the quarterback power. Watch how close he is to the lead blocker. He almost beats him to the spot, but he does a tremendous job of seeing the leverage and getting that 240-pound big body, getting downhill. He's a tough guy to stop. Watch him out. He's in wildcatting again. They have some passes designed with him, so he can throw the ball.
Green stays in the game as the Wildcat quarterback. Inside the red zone for the first time. Another keeper. Green lowers the head to the 10-yard line. Jeff Allison on the stop. Seth Green is a local from Woodbury, Minnesota. Like a whole bunch of these Gophers, he is a second-generation Gopher. His father, Brian, played for Minnesota back in the 90s.
You saw him come off the field, personnel change. Zack Annexstad is right back in this ballgame.
Bryce Williams back into the game as the tailback. Flag was a big one for Fresno State. Instead of a tackle at the line of scrimmage, the ball is moved all the way down to the 5-yard line. Wildcat situation again for Seth Green. Little option. Green keeps it, and he's smothered.
Fresno State now, they've all seen just runs out of Wildcat. They pack the box. Look at all those white jerseys inside that box. Just no place for him to go. I imagine that's all being set up to throw some sort of pass either here or down the road.
3rd down and 1. This drive has taken up some time. Already double digits in plays on this drive for Minnesota. Green again calls his own number. He's got the first down.
You know what makes it so difficult with the quarterback run game is you get an extra blocker in front of you. The extra blocker also means there's another gap that you have to account for defensively. You get that blocker in front of you, you don't fit right on defense, all of a sudden you just need one little crease, and he's going to hit that full speed and pick up the first down.
Femi Cole into the game. He's the biggest remaining back for Minnesota, 225 pounds. Still a Wildcat situation with Green on the field. And Green to the doorstep, not quite in yet.
Yeah, awfully close. He tried to sort of spin his way in there, but it looks like to me he's down just a few inches shy of the goal line. Again, another designed quarterback run game. You saw that back of his jersey and shoulders touch the ground. So here we are, 2nd and goal from about 6 inches away.
Thirteenth play of the drive. Green, touchdown, Minnesota.
And there's nothing fancy about when Seth Green's in the game. Right now it's all power run game. Just watch the quarterback take the direct snap, beats the blocker even to the hole, and just powers his way in there. Now, we talked about his size, 6'4", 240 pounds. I mean, that's like a linebacker size. He's got speed and athleticism. That's a hard guy to bring down consistently.
Emmett Carpenter makes it a 7-0 lead for Minnesota. So Minnesota playing without their top tailback Rodney Smith. They call on the Wildcat quarterback Seth Green, and Green comes through. Kickoff fielded at the 2-yard line. And out across the 20 to the 22. That is where Fresno State will have the football on offense. Marcus Marion back under center for the Bulldogs when we come back. Jordan Mims with the carry. And Mims squirts out to the 29-yard line. O.J. Smith falls on him. Now this Fresno State Bulldogs team led by veteran, big-time Division I head coach Jeff Tedford, twice Pac-10 Coach of the Year when he was at Cal. Does a really good job offensively.
Hey, he really does. He's known for his offense, for developing quarterbacks, and the sentiment around Fresno State is they feel very comfortable he's going to be there for a long time to close out his coaching career.
There's a player at Fresno State under legendary Jim Sweeney. That ball is picked off Minnesota's got the football back. Terrell Smith, another one of the true freshman starters for Minnesota.
Not only starter, but right now he is a budding star. Terrell Smith had a heck of a game last week. You're going to see him cut across the screen, left to right, in a trail position. And that ball's nicely thrown, right on the numbers, right on his hands. And Terrell Smith, with the closing speed, just reaching out in front of the receiver to pick the ball up. The coaches talk about, hey, we know this guy can make some plays, he's got great hands, but we want to see him run. He's a 10-3, 100-meter guy. He's going to have his opportunities in this game and a lot of games going forward to show off that speed, and hopefully I get a chance to see it.
So wonderful starting field position for Minnesota. Third time with the football. Zack Annexstad back in at quarterback. Williams straight up the gut. Classic Big Ten run. Picks up a pair. If you're just joining us, Bryce Williams getting the lion's share of the work at running back. Rodney Smith, very first possession of the game for Minnesota, had to leave the field. Was looked at for a long time by the training staff. Is still on the field, but doesn't look like he's going to come back into the game anytime soon. Final minute and a half of our first quarter. Williams stoned right at the line. Jeff Allison, junior middle linebacker, with the tackle.
You know, it's so interesting watching Fresno State's defense right now. They sort of predicate themselves on this four-man front, but they bring a lot of pressure from different angles. It looks like a 3-4 at times. They want to create some confusion. Right now in this ball game, they're playing pretty much straight up. Not a lot of safety movement, not a lot of back end movement. They're playing pretty stagnant. See if they can just hold on a little bit before they have to throw anything special at this young quarterback.
3rd and 9. Annexstad showing off those feet. Running out of time. Ooh, threw it right into the gut of a Bulldog defender. Did he stay in bounds? It's Allison who has the football.
And they're debating right now. They think he may have caught that ball and got 1 foot in.
No, incompletion. The ruling on the field is he was out of bounds.
There's the catch. Yeah, even his left foot was on the white. So good call, good discussion by the officials to get that call right.
Wow, wonderful camera work. I think we may have 25 cameras today. We used to wear our director's cut this. My goodness, we get everything we'd ever want. So it's 4th down and 9. And the Gophers, just moments after scoring a touchdown on an 80-yard touchdown drive, are going to go 3 and out after having wonderful starting field position. So Annexstad, 18-year-old, will talk to offensive coordinator Kirk Shiraka about that last possession, as the Gophers have to punt it away. High lob inside the 15. Nice hang time. 4.5 seconds on that punt. Marcus McMaryion. Jordan Mims next to him in the backfield. This is Mims trying to get to the edge. Can't outrun Cashman. Just can't do it.
Well, and let's just remember, for Fresno, they're making a long trip from California. Long enough to where Coach Tedford thought we need to come in a day early. We need to acclimate to the time zone, you know, get our legs underneath of us. So they've been here an extra day trying to hope that they can settle some of this fatigue and get over it. So it's no surprise to me that maybe they're starting just a little bit slow on the road in a pretty hostile environment.
Inside run. Not much there. We'll have a 3rd down and short for Fresno State when the second quarter gets started. We played 15 minutes so far, so good for the locals. Gophers leading the Bulldogs 7-0. FS1 college football will return after these messages. Welcome back. Minnesota leading Fresno State. First time these two schools have ever played. After 15 minutes, it is a 7-0 lead for the Gophers. And as you'd expect, everything tilted statistically towards Minnesota.
Yeah, it's just been smash mouth football. You know, we kind of expected that from both sides of the ball, especially in the first quarter. Maybe they start airing it out here in the second quarter, but nice job right now of the young Minnesota team sort of imposing their will.
3rd down and 5, crossing routes complete. That'll be a 1st down for the Bulldogs. Micaiah Quick, his 2nd reception of the game.
You're can see Quick just lined up right here. He's going to come directly underneath. That's a hard thing to cover as any defender because you have all that traffic to kind of cut through. He's wide open there for a first down, and hopefully Fresno State can now get some momentum going here in offense.
A gain of 11 for Fresno State. Mims. Nice positive gain on first down. Jacob Huff with the tackle.
And what a nice strong tackle here by Jacob Huff. He's going to come right down on the right side of your screen, filling this lane. Good job of being on the outside, comes back to the inside leverage and corrals him around his legs.
Marcus McMaryion has 5 receivers in the game. Empty backfield. Inside handoff. This is O'Neal. Ball comes loose late. And Minnesota's got it. Jacob Huff has the football for the Gophers.
And it looks like it's going to be Thomas Barber. He's going to come all the way over here. He's tracking that receiver. He goes all the way across the field and just wallops him. Along with Antonio Chenault. There's the contact. There's Chenault. Wow. It's a violent hit. Causes the ball to pop out. So Chenault looks like he'll get the credit for the forced fumble.
Well, they're going to say that Huff did not have the ball in bounds. So it would look to be a turnover. Is not. It's going to be Fresno State football. Minnesota's defense has to come back on the field.
Let's take a look at the recovery. Oh, yeah, that's a good call. That's a really good call. I didn't see that the first time. You saw the back end of that football as he came and rolled over right there, hit the ground, and it helped him secure that ball.
Jeff Tedford trying to dial up something successful on third down. His offense has been virtually non-existent here in the first half.
This is where Minnesota just has to play the sticks, play that first down marker, because Fresno State don't like to throw deep in these situations.
Johnson, the man in motion. Just a 4-man rush. McMaryion crossing route. It's complete. That'll be a first down. They get it to Jordan. McMaryion hit the ground hard.
So they guessed right with man coverage. Watch all of this traffic in here, and you're going to see the Minnesota defenders sort of picking themselves off. They guessed right offensively. You see all those guys tracking in man-to-man, and all that traffic going across. It's really, really hard for Terrell Smith to catch up and make that play.
Josh Hoken stutters through the hole. Pickup of a pair.
Now Minnesota saying the loose ball that they recovered. I think they're going to say that he was down on the ground before the ball came out. Take a look at this as he's in the hole. There's Thomas Barber on the tackle. Clearly on the ground, then the ball comes out. So good call again by the officials.
Quick hitter. Jordan tries to find the edge. And he's tackled in space beautifully by Coney Durr.
Again, this Minnesota defense has been impressive with just their speed at which they play with. Fresno State's trying to get them out on the edges. They're opening things up. As you can see, quick count right now to catch them off guard.
McMaryion got the handoff to Hoken, but he doesn't get the first down line. A whole host of Gophers meet him. And it'll bring up fourth down. What's the decision here, Ben Lieber?
Well, I think you have to punt this one away. I mean, you're not quite in that no man's land where you feel like you have to go forward on fourth down. So it looks like that's the case right now. They're going to punt it away and see if their defense can make some plays.
Blake Cusick on to punt the football. Takes his time. Winfield back deep. Again, they kick it away from him. Kick goes out of bounds. Zack Annexstad back in at quarterback. Jonathan Femi-Cole. All right, Ben. When we saw the Wildcat, used well by Minnesota? Was it only because it was inside positive territory for the Gophers and then inside the red zone? Can you not use that wildcat at this part of the field?
I think you're not really going to catch anybody off guard. I mean, right now all they've done is run with Seth Green. Now they have some passes off of that. You have to have some complementary passes, but I don't think this is the area of the field that you want to do that in.
Bryce Williams. First man meets him in the hole and drops it. 3rd down and long.
You know, this is something that we'll just never know, but you wonder with Rodney Smith going out on the first drive, on the sideline, still cheering on his teammates, that some of these run plays, you know, what could he have done? What could he have seen in some of the blocking scheme to maybe pick up some extra yards and break some of these big runs that he's known for?
Gophers are in trouble. 3rd down and 10, deep in their own territory. 3-man rush. They set up a slip screen. In space, that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Wonderful catch and run. Tyler Johnson out to the 28-yard line.
And it looks like to me the center, Jared Weiler, is the one that gets out there. He's going to get out there and spring the key block. There he goes out there and just sort of ride him out just a little bit. That's all he needed to do, was his body presence to get the defender just leaning outside and let the receiver cut back inside of him.
In the Week 1 win against New Mexico State, that Jared Weiler was the offensive lineman who graded out the best for Minnesota. Annexstad, play action, wants a bundle, has his man, it's complete. Inside the 50-yard line, it's Bateman once again. Catch number 4 for the true freshman wideout.
And so far, he loves slant routes, and he loves these big, deep dig routes. Watch the number 2 sort of clear out the zone, opens everything up, and Bateman just so subtly changing his tempo and his speed and the pace. That's not a full speed sprint, because you have to wait for number 2 to clear you out and run that dig.
Williams pushing the pile. Then we alluded to it a little bit earlier, P.J. Fleck. He's got to have an advantage when he is going into the living room of a 17-year-old kid who wants to play wide receiver at this level.
Oh, for sure, because now you can speak from experience, what he's been through as a collegiate athlete, what he went through as a pro, and he's always one of those guys that had to work for everything. And I think that really comes across in sort of that pitch to come up here to Minnesota and really build something offensively, especially as a wide receiver.
Bryce Williams is going to have a 1st down on the ground. Well, we told you about P.J. Fleck, the fact that he is a former NFL wide receiver. He also was an NFL assistant coach. There are only 4 Division I college football coaches, head coaches, that can make that claim to both playing and coaching in the NFL. You got P.J. Fleck, Jim Harbaugh, Herm Edwards back in the game down at Arizona State, and Scotty Montgomery of East Carolina. Pretty cool factoid about P.J. Fleck. Annexstad, nobody home, misses on the deep ball.
And if you want to make that stat even more impressive, is he's one of 3 in the Power 5. You know, so East Carolina just in the group of 5, and you know, it's a really impressive thing to think about that he's went through all of that in his career and still so young, and taking over a program here in Minnesota that I think, you know, I believe in what he's doing here. I think the positivity really is starting to play off and pay off, and you're getting young players, skill position guys that are in the South that want to come up here to Minnesota to play.
2nd down and 10. Williams has been the workhorse with Smith out since that first possession for Minnesota. Should also mention that Mohammed Ibrahim hasn't played. He was the 2nd string tailback last week against New Mexico State. So really Minnesota is down to the 3rd string and 4th string tailback, working with a true freshman quarterback and so many young freshmen and redshirt freshman wide receivers. This is just kind of a motley crew thrown out there by Minnesota, but so far so good as they lead 7-0 and are driving. 3rd down, Annexstad just has to unload. He was under duress. Michael Walker lands on him, and it's now 4th down and 8.
Yeah, anytime Zack is feeling a little bit of pressure, he's sort of rolling out a little bit too quickly and not helping his offensive lineman out as he kind of puts himself in harm's way. Maybe if he goes back and looked at step up in the pocket to buy some time as opposed to floating out to the outside, he does the wise thing of just throwing that ball away.
Oh my, this is a bomb. Minnesota's going to go for a 53-yard field goal. Emmett Carpenter, most accurate kicker in the history of Gopher football. Does he have enough leg? Yes, he does. Holy Chippewa Miller. What a kick by Emmett Carpenter. 53 yards, and the Gophers lead 10-0.
And the thing I love about when a team is playing at home in these long field goal situations, you just watch the crowd behind the goalposts, and they'll tell you right away if that's good or not. And they started cheering. You see the people with their arms up in the air already. They knew it when they saw the big leg of Carpenter unleash on that football. And you see the young freshman Annexstad celebrating.
Low-scoring first half. Minnesota, they lead over Fresno State 10-0. Right now, let's send you to Rob Stone in Los Angeles. So far, so good for the locals. PJ Flex, Minnesota Golden Gophers, a 10-0 lead over Fresno State as we get set to play our second half. With my partner, Ben Lieber, I am Eric Collins, and coming into this one, Fresno State, they look like world beaters on offense. Ben, last week they scored 79 points. So far, Minnesota pitching a shutout against Fresno State.
It's been impressive on both sides of the ball. Fresno State comes in as the more experienced team, more physical team. And Minnesota now with a bunch of freshmen and young team, they're taking it to them on both offense and defense.
Taking a chance, bring the ball out of the end zone. And it turns out to be not a wise move. Tackle made at the 15-yard line. Quick little pitch and catch. Gain of about 4 on first down. That's Jameer Jordan. Fifth-year senior. He's their deep threat. They haven't really had an opportunity to get him the ball down the field.
And I would expect that Fresno State's going to come out in the second half and try to get the ball down the field. They had 54 offensive passing plays, over 20 yards last year. The explosive plays that everybody talks about, 54 of them. We haven't seen anyone today.
DeJounte O'Neal in the backfield next to McMaryion. O'Neal with a big hole right up the gut. That's a good start. O'Neal carries it out across the 30 before he's upended by Jacob Huff.
It's going to open up right here on the left side of the offensive line. Just some zone blocking. Minnesota and Thomas Barber blitzes on the outside and kind of voids that whole area. Great pickup there for Fresno State.
14 yards for O'Neal. Now the tight end, Jared Rice. Rice from Modesto. That's his first catch. Tackled by Antoine Winfield Jr.
And he's another guy, along with that whole trio of tight ends that they have, that they really think that they can find mismatches, they can get the ball down the field. They aren't just blockers, they can get down the field and make some plays.
Bulldogs working a little bit quicker, and this is doomed from the get-go. That was a botched handoff between McMaryion and O'Neal.
You're going to see Carter Coughlin watch the two polars coming from right to left, and then the miscommunication at running back and quarterback, and then Carter Coughlin right there comes unblocked, chasing those polars down the line of scrimmage to make the play.
So it's a loss of 2. So some changes up front for Fresno State on that offensive line for what's now a very important 3rd and 7. McMaryion. Back wasn't looking. There was simply no time to find the receiver. That play was blown up by Carter Coughlin.
Again, Coughlin's made his presence known here. Here he is on the outside. Watch him rush the quarterback. They're trying to set up a screen right now to Jordan Mims. Mims, if he has to do it over, he's got to get a little chip on him. Just chip him with your right shoulder as you release. That's going to buy your quarterback a little bit of time. He does not do that, and Carter Coughlin forces that throw.
The left guard, Christian Cronk, had moved out to left tackle, replacing Moody. Maybe a little bit of confusion with different roles for different guys on that front wall. Nice booming kick. Fair catch called for and made at the 16-yard line. And a hang time of 4.5 seconds. Well, it's been a while, but Minnesota does have a rich football tradition. There was a time when this was the program in the Big Ten. They won 6 national championships. And remember, this is the program that had Bronco Nagurski and some great names way back when. They had a Heisman Trophy Award winner back in 1941 and Bruce Smith. So there were some halcyon days here in Minnesota, but it's just been a while. The last time they won a Big Ten title, 1967. So we're working on half a century.
I wouldn't say that they're a national championship contender at this point, but I will say that there is a ton of hope with this team. We're already seeing it right now, playing against a very strong physical team in Fresno State. They've got the 10-0 lead, and they're being led by all freshmen. These are PJ Flex guys. You know, normally it's like year 3 that, okay, these are the guys that kind of produce, but already in year 2, you've got a bunch of redshirt and true freshmen out there making plays for this team.
Seth Green back in, running that Wildcat. Haven't seen him since the first quarter. And this time it's snipped out beautifully. Jeff Allison, middle linebacker, with the stop. All right, Ben, you were a linebacker of note. 4 years as a collegiate in Kansas State, played 10 years in the NFL. How do you stop the Wildcat?
Well, you know, when it happened with us in the NFL, we would just check the base, right? So if we had a blitz called or something else called, we would just check the base. That way everyone went back to their rules, and all you had to do really just follow the lead blocker. You got to beat somebody one-on-one. It becomes more physical and smash mouth, but it's not hard to stop as long as you just get back to your base defense and play your rules.
Annexstad incomplete, through a dart, nobody home, and that's going to be a quick 3 and out, and Minnesota will have to give the ball back. All right, finishing off the thought about Minnesota, we're talking about their glory days.
Well, this ball is just about picked off. Look at number 3 on the outside right here. He feels that slant and just tries to get in the window, and Annexstad does a good job of placing the ball sometimes, having that feeling and awareness what defenders are, but that was pretty close to getting picked off in their zone.
A couple of 3 and outs to begin this third quarter. Fair catch called for and made by Keyshawn Johnson. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, Fresno State will try and crack the seal. Lathered himself in peanut oil before that shot. Fresno State football. Jordan on the outside.
You know, I still think that they can take these opportunities on first down and maybe try a double move. Maybe try something over the top. Minnesota's not bringing blitz on first down. Your offensive line should handle the 4-man pressure and just launch that ball up and see if you can get something cheap over the top.
Tight end Rice in motion. Fake. Incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down and long. Ben, I want to ask you, we showed you that shot of that interception you had as a Viking. You were teammates with Antoine Winfield back during those periods.
I was.
What was your thought on Antoine Winfield Jr.'s father?
His father, the best pound-for-pound defensive player I've ever played with, and I'm not kidding. We were in awe every Monday watching him in tape study, reviewing the last game. He would take on offensive linemen. He would take on anybody that would come in his way and knock their faces in. It was so fun to watch.
Looks like his son takes after him. Pretty tough customer himself. 3rd and 9. McMaryion. Incomplete. Some hand fighting there. Keyshawn Johnson had it in the left hand. Just couldn't corral it. And it'll bring up 4th down.
You know, they're calling some of these shots again, I think, on 2nd and 3rd down, and it's just not going to be there. Watch right here. Watch this route come wide open. That's the ball that he should have thrown. That was a 2nd down play. If he just kept his eyes down the field, that would have been a big shot. Home run hitter.
It's been a punt fest here in the 3rd quarter. Back and forth. And this is going to be terrible starting field position for Minnesota. They're backed up against their own goal line at the 1-yard line. And This is by far the worst starting field position of the very short career of Zack Annexstad. Got to be careful with the football. Standard issue right up to Gutman. Works. Bryce Williams powers out for 10.
Oh, that's so disappointing for Burt Watts, the defensive coordinator. You know they're going to run the football. You're telling your players they're going to run the football. All you have to do is keep your gap integrity, and you'll stop the run. And they just did not. They got leaky on the front end of that. And they pick up a nice first down as they're backed up on their 1-yard line.
And now it's a wildcat situation. Annexstad, bottom of the formation, close to the Gopher sideline. And it's Seth Green going to take the snap from center. Pickup of 3 on first down for Williams.
You know, this is where I keep saying that they have to have some sort of complementary pass. Look at this. Count all the white jerseys in there. When they see Seth Green come in, they are packing this box in, knowing that there's going to be some sort of run, either with the running back or Seth Green himself. They need to set this play up again and throw down the field through all of that traffic for a big game.
Annexstad back in at quarterback. Williams has got a whole bunch of work. Didn't expect to. Rodney Smith was injured and had to leave the game. The very first series offensively for Minnesota to begin this game.
These last 2 series, George Helmuth has had one heck of a few snaps here. Had a tackle for loss, had a big stop on 3rd down, comes out this series and just catches the toe of a would-be big game.
3rd down and 5. Annexstad. Complete. Johnson had it, then lost it. It's loose. And no signal. I think that's a catch and a fumble. Who's got the football? Fresno State. Fresno State football.
Man, Annexstad once again feels the pressure and is rolling out to his right. Delivers a ball perfectly right where you need to on the run. You see Tyler Johnson just trying to get extra yardage to pick up that first down. And it's Tank Kelly with an appropriate name for a defensive player with the strip right there.
Tank Kelly a week ago, a couple of interceptions and a blocked field goal. And this, the biggest defensive play of the game so far for Fresno State. The forced fumble and great starting field position for Marcus McMaryion and the Bulldogs. Shutout for Minnesota hanging in the balance. Bulldogs in the red zone for the first time tonight.
Man-to-man.
Okay, out of the backfield. Short gain.
What a really good job by Blake Cashman, number 36 for Minnesota, linebacker. Fight through all of that traffic to get that little wheel route.
Hoke it. Stop close to the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down.
Boy, it's Carter Coughlin again. Here he is. You can barely see him as a defensive end. Fights off the block from the receiver. Love how he uses his hands to shed that block and go out and make a play.
Late substitution for the Gophers. They're allowed to. Now everybody's set. 3rd and 4. McMaryion, Hoke it. First down and more inside the 2. Big 3rd down conversion for the Bulldogs.
Oh, and it looked like a little bit of a miscommunication on the play action fake. You can see Thomas Barber, the middle linebacker, in man coverage. Just a little bit late. good job by Josh Hokut fighting off that tackle, the awareness of where that pylon is at, and just misses the touchdown. Well, I keep going back to this is an area for Fresno State that they did not do very well. They did not convert in the red zone with touchdowns. They had a lot of field goals, but they did not convert on touchdowns. This is a huge, huge first and goal for them.
They race to the line of scrimmage. Play action. McMaryion, touchdown, Fresno State. It's Jared Rice back in the end zone. Well, a long time coming for the Bulldogs. Just 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter, and they finally break through with a touchdown.
You can see right here, he's hit. He's going to block down, and then go out for the boot. Classic boot play on goal line just to get everybody thinking run, and then just sneak the tight end out in the flat.
Well, maybe Fresno State just finally getting used to the time zone. All right, we got a ball game. It is a 10-7 score. Fresno drawing closer and closer. Fresno State, this Bulldog program for so many years under the great Pat Hill. Anybody, anytime, anywhere. New coaching staff at Jeff Tedford and his guys, but they still feel the same way. They will play on any team, anytime, anywhere in search of wins. This would be a big one if they could get it here in Big Ten country. We're winding down our third quarter. 14 seconds remaining. Minnesota's offense has stalled. That's being generous. This third quarter has been nothing to write home about. Annexstad. Nice pitch and catch. Bateman. He's been the most effective receiver for Minnesota. He's got another first down.
Well, it's the protection up front. They're going to bring a blitz in here to create some pressure, and a nice job by the offensive line, passing everything off, communicating, buying some time. And there it is. There's the strike to end the third quarter here in Minnesota.
Maybe that'll allow the Gophers to pick themselves up a little bit. 10-7 is our score. FS1 College Football will return in a moment. Welcome back, everyone. Getting ready for our fourth quarter. Minnesota trying to hang on. They've got a 10-7 lead over Fresno State. First time these programs have ever met on the football field. Ben Lieber, I'm Eric Collins. Minnesota just had a nice pitch and catch, 17 yards on the gain. Annexstad to Bateman. That was the final play of the third quarter. Gophers playing without their leading rusher, Rodney Smith. Injured, first possession of the game. Bryce Williams, true freshman tailback in the game. This is Annexstad in trouble. Gets it out, complete. What a catch by Tyler Johnson, and what a throw by Annexstad.
Oh, 100%. The throw was ridiculous, just in time before he got sacked from behind and a possible sack fumble. Look at this throw. And what a nice job by Tyler Johnson coming back to the football. If he doesn't come back for that football, that's possibly knocked down by the defender. So Annexstad got it out there with some zip and some accuracy, and Tyler Johnson took care of the rest.
Annexstad, top of your screen. Still a Wildcat. And Seth Green tackled by Jeff Allison, so Allison no worse for the wear. Now this was the recipe for success on Minnesota's only touchdown back in the first quarter. A lot of Wildcat, 6 Wildcat runs for Seth Green on a touchdown drive.
Well, and it's been effective. You know, like I said, it's not big chunk plays, but when they need it, it's been effective. They've been picking up first down, so you know, why not keep going back to the well when it's working?
Now they're going to go back to Annexstad. 2nd and 7. Bryce Williams met in the hole by Helmuth.
Check out this big hit by George Helmuth. It's one-on-one tackling. Oh, good job getting your head across. All that energy's got to bowl you over. A lot of times when you're in that position outside in, you'll hit take on with your inside shoulder, and running backs will break that tackle. But Helmuth, good player, instinctful, knows how to make a hit.
And an agricultural business major.
Well, there you go.
3rd down and 3. Nothing doing. Read beautifully. Williams is cornered and brought down. Michael Walker in on that tackle along with Jeff Allison.
Well, just watch all the pressure come out here. I just look at some of these plays and I wonder, they're getting so predictable, especially on obvious rundowns, that they need to do something sort of like what Fresno State did on that touchdown pass. Throw out a little boot pass, a little trickeration, maybe just to catch these guys off guard.
It looks as if the Gophers are going to try another long field goal. Remember, they made a 53-yarder in the 2nd quarter. This one from 50. Emmett Carpenter, how do you do? Emmett Carpenter building himself a wonderful game. He has got 2 50-yarders tonight. Not bad. Gopher lead back up to 6. Emmett Carpenter has 103 yards worth of field goals. He's made a pair of 50-yarders, 50 and 53. Good golly.
Well, and he really needed a bounce-back year. 2 years ago, he's the Big Ten Kicker of the Year. And then last year, 14 of 20, a little shaky, but it's good to see he's got his mojo back.
So Minnesota, their lead is 6. Have led by as many as 10. Fresno State scoring a touchdown last time they had the football. McMaryion wants to throw. Deep down the middle of the field. Tapped away beautifully by the true freshman corner, Terrell Smith. How did this guy get out of SEC country?
Yeah, listen, I don't know, but they talked about, here's the matchup down here. Their #1 receiver against a budding star for Minnesota. He man-turns it. And look at that. That's so easy to him. He made it look so effortless. It's like he was sort of jogging in stride to knock that ball down.
Georgia State sprint champion. Also 6'1" as an 18-year-old. Pretty good measurables for a cornerback. Tackle in space. Coney Durr brings down Keyshawn Johnson. Short of the 1st down marker.
And that's really been one of the keys for the defensive success of Minnesota right now is they're allowing off coverage. They're allowing their corners to play off. And then, hey, just throw the ball underneath. We're going to come up and make some one-on-one tackles. And they've been doing it by and large in their whole back 7, making the open field tackles.
3rd and 2. Mims, 1st down and more. Jordan Mims across the 50, pushed out of bounds by Huff. There's an explosive play for the Bulldogs.
Well, and to make matters worse on this run, not only they pick up the 1st down, but because of the defensive scheme, watch on the outside, they're in man coverage, and the receiver just runs off the corner. The corner has back turned. Coney Durr has no idea that the running back is running right behind him.
McMaryion, play action. Can't hit his man. It's been a quiet night for Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah, it really has. You know, they've bottled up everybody. We've seen a multitude of different guys. Coney Durr's on him right now. Terrell Smith, we saw knock down that ball. So he's getting a lot of different looks from some of this young, talented secondary for Minnesota. And so far, the young guys are holding up.
Eight and a half remaining, 4th quarter. Fresno State, a 10-win team a year ago. Won a bowl game against Houston to cap off their season. McMaryion looking for Johnson. He's got it! Touchdown, Bulldogs! Now all of a sudden, Keyshawn Johnson not having a quiet night anymore.
You knew it was a matter of time before they're going to try going over the top. And Coney Durr draws the coverage this time. And he just can't recover. It's going to be in, and then all of a sudden he's going to come out. There it is. There's the double move. And the ball is perfectly placed on the outside of his shoulder where Coney Durr, even with recovery, could not knock that ball down.
Extra point And now Minnesota potentially trailing, and now confirmed to be trailing against Fresno State. Excitement on that Bulldog sideline. 8:20 to play, fourth quarter. Back with more on FS1. .20 to play, fourth quarter. Keyshawn Johnson has just given Fresno State a 14-13 lead. Keyshawn Johnson, a 45-yard catch and run. That was catch number 5 for him on the night. He now has 85 yards next to his name and a touchdown. First touchdown of the year for Keyshawn Johnson, potential All-American. And now Minnesota will play from behind for the first time. Douglas, full head of steam. And Douglas weaves his way out to the 26 now. Well, Minnesota gonna have to fight uphill. They're trailing by a point. Annexstad wants a bunch. No chance. Passes out of bounds, looking for Tyler Johnson.
Well, he got really lucky on that pass. He threw that on the outside. Thankfully, where the corner couldn't make a play. You'll see one-on-one on the outside. See Weiland free the corner, stride for stride. If that ball was placed inside just a little bit, looked like it was a surefire pickoff.
Bryce Williams in as the tailback next to Annexstad. They fake it to Williams. Crossing route, caught. Chris Hoffman-Bell. Redshirt freshman from Kankakee, Illinois. First down, Gophers.
Well, they keep going back to this little dig route that's becoming one of his favorite routes to throw. Just wait for those guys to clear the defenders on the second level. He's going to throw in that little window right there. And Hoffman-Bell showing some courage, knowing that there's a free safety that's going to hit him.
Wraparound handoff to Williams, sniffed out by that front wall. Helmuth, another tackle. We're halfway through our fourth quarter. Things getting dicey. Both teams winning a week ago. Minnesota taking out New Mexico State. Fresno State just obliterating the Idaho Vandals. First time these two schools have ever met playing football. Annexstad looks towards the sideline. Quick hitter. This is Howard, and it's sniffed out beautifully. Man, Fresno State can tackle. James Bailey, the senior from Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
lost a 2.
What a nice play by Bailey, just to be patient, knowing that there's a possibility in this off coverage they could throw to his receiver, because these quick hitting screen passes are such a big part of this offense. And right when he sees the quarterback hitch, he pulls the trigger, goes downhill, makes a nice little tackle.
Bailey grew up and was high school teammates with Baker Mayfield, last year's Heisman Trophy Award winner. Grew up in Austin. Third down and 9. Annexstad flushed, going the wrong way. Looking for help. Caught! Oh my goodness, it's caught by Johnson. First down, Minnesota. Wow!
The fact that he got out of that pocket without getting sacked is amazing. Then watch the finish on this catch. Looking, trying to find a place to get open. That's incredible.
That was a ton of work for a 13-yard gain.
But more importantly, a first down. Look at him elevate and just sort of hang in the air.
If you need to get something off the top shelf at your home, you call Tyler Johnson. He'll get it for you, no problem. Nice elevation.
And it seems that we have a penalty on Fresno State. The ball's being moved back even further into their own territory.
Sideline interference. Oh my, Jeff Tedford has seen a lot, but I don't know if he's ever seen that. That's a tough pill to swallow. 15 yards for sideline interference. Williams running hard inside the 20.
Now just hold on to that football. Both hands. Clearly this is not an area in a time of the game where you need to do anything extra special to pick up extra yardage and possibly lose a fumble here. You have time, 5:30, plenty of timeouts for both teams. Milk as much time off this clock.
Tight formation. 2nd and 1. Conservative play call. Williams has got the first down. 59 freshmen on this Gopher roster. 52% of the entire team consisted of freshmen. But P.J. Fleck has got them all headed in the right direction. Trying to get to 2-0. 5 minutes remain. Only team with nothing but freshman quarterback. They have 4 of them. And they're led by a true freshman who's a walk-on in Zack Annexstad. Got to be careful with the football. Williams still going. Down to the 5. And stronger than 10 rows of onions.
And you can tell he's feeling it right now. Churning those legs. Keeping everything just moving north and south. Head down, plowing through. Again, got to be careful with just that one arm going through traffic like that. But he's shown some life as well, stepping in for an injured Rodney Smith.
Fresno State finding out what Big Ten football is all about. 24 carries, 85 yards. Williams, 1st and goal from the 5. Williams tackled from behind. He got to the 3.
Here comes Seth Green, number 17, the Wildcat package being featured right now in the red zone. Fresno State has not done a consistent enough job of stopping these quarterback runs.
Not only is Green as the Wildcat quarterback, but a couple of tight ends. Cole Kieft, Colton Beebe into the game. Green keeps it, still going. Touchdown, Minnesota! Gophers back on top.
Again, nothing special. Watch the guys up front create some push. And then Seth Green, with that big frame again, 240 pounds, lowers his shoulders and just keeps his legs driving to put Minnesota up right now as they're going to go for a 2-point conversion.
Up by 5, they want to make it a 7-point bulge. Green wants to throw! First pass all year, and it works! Cole Kieft back in the end zone. Give the Gophers 2 more.
You knew it had to be coming. At some point in time, they're going to have to throw out a Wildcat.
It all started with a wonderful play by Annexstad to keep the drive going. And then a whole bunch of power football, Big Ten style. Gophers up by 7. Gophers on top by 7, 21-14. Impressive offensively with a couple of quarterbacks.
You know, so impressive was Zack Annexstad really on that last drive, not able to extend the play and throw it up to Tyler Johnson, but you're down by 1. You're a true freshman. You need this drive. He does everything he needs to do to keep the drive alive, and then you put the ball in the hands of Seth Green, who has been amazing today out of Wildcat, down in the goal line in the red zone area. Virtually unstoppable with him running the football.
To begin the second half, both teams a combined 8 possessions, no points. Last 4 combined possessions, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Keyshawn Johnson catching quickly out of bounds, about the 29-yard line.
Well, and same thing that Minnesota faced this last drive is there's no rush right now. You've got 3 minutes, you've got all 3 timeouts. There's no reason to hurry up and panic and put yourself at a disadvantage.
Oh no, bad snap. McMaryion Just has to get it out. That play was almost a disaster. And a late flag comes in. McMaryion in pain, and a flag thrown in his vicinity.
And it looks like Winston de Ladabadier is the last player. You'll see Ladabadier right here. Keep your eye on him. He's going to be rushing the quarterback after the fumble. Oh no, it's Carter Coughlin. You know, such a tricky spot for a defensive player. Quarterback going down.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 46. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
You know, you just have to be a little bit more aware. I know it's an effort play by Carter Coughlin to come in there and try to get a hit on the quarterback, but when the quarterback is falling down, somehow, some way, either have to back off or lower your target to not hit him in the head or neck.
So Carter Coughlin coughs up to 15 yards to Fresno State. Ball will be spotted at the 44. Remember, it should have been 3rd down and 6 from the 29. Instead, it's 1st down and 10 from the 44. Josh Hokett in the backfield next to McMaryion. New quarterback in the game. It's Jorge Reyna. Reyna, his first game action in for McMaryion, and he throws a strike. So maybe McMaryion was hurt maybe more than we thought on that roughing the passer. Now McMaryion back in the game. So Reyna completes a pass and then gets out of dodge. He earned his meal money. 2nd and 3. McMaryion caught. That's his tight end Rice, who had a touchdown a moment ago.
Well, so far I think both teams are even now. On Minnesota's scoring drive, they had a coach come out on the field, had a 15-yard penalty, and now this time there's a 15-yard penalty on Minnesota. So they're kind of even now on the 15-yarders.
Even Steven, a big believer. 1st down and 10, wide open. It's Mims out of the backfield, inside the 20 to the 15. A huge chunk play for Fresno State.
Oh, it's the dreaded running back out of the backfield on the wheel route. They have not shown it all game. What a perfect call right now to bring that out.
25 yards for the Bulldogs. Clock moving. Mims, no. Open field tackle by Smith.
So much emphasis. You're going to see Mims right here just come out of the backfield. Nobody on him. There's confusion in coverage. Everybody's worried about Keyshawn Johnson down the field. And you get Jordan Mims sneaking out for a huge gain for Fresno State.
That last tackle in the open field by Terrell Smith was a loss of 3.
And he kept them in bounds.
So much to like with that kid. All right, so Fresno State calls timeout. They're playing from behind the sticks. They still have 2 timeouts remaining. Minnesota just 1. It's 2nd and 13. Give me some options. Jeff Tedford has been there and done that. What's he talking about with his club on the sideline?
Well, again, I think with 2 minutes, 1:51 in this game, 2 timeouts, you've got time. 2nd and 13, quick screen, little tunnel screen. Try to pick up a little bit of chunk yardage. Give yourself some more options here as you knock on the door of hopefully tying this game up. But again, don't panic. You've got enough time.
Senior quarterback Marcus McMaryion. Mims next to him in the backfield.
Look at the off coverage by the corners.
Quick hitter, tight end Reed. Rice thrown out of bounds at the 10. He'll be short of the 1st down marker. It's 3rd down and a pair.
Well, that's an easy pickup, but these corners are going to play 10 to 12 yards off the line of scrimmage. That's as good as a screen pass or anything. Just quick throw it out, have little stop routes on the outside. Throw it to your big tight end, Jared Rice, and just see what he can do to pick up a few yards here now. Crucial 3rd down for Fresno State.
Can't imagine they think about a field goal, so this probably is 4-down territory. 5 receivers in the game. 4-man rush. McMaryion goes down. He's short. It'll bring up 4th down.
And it's going to be the pressure coming off the offensive left side. Watch the penetration over here. That's what's going to cause everything to sort of happen. And all of a sudden now, McMaryion has to pull the ball down and see if he can scamper to pick up a 1st down. There's Cashman to finish him off.
Fresno State calls timeout ahead of the most important play of their season thus far. McMaryion caught, 1st down, Bulldogs. He threw a dart to Justin Allen.
And he had all sorts of time to let Allen do his work. As you're going to try to hurry up and get this ball snap.
Holken wants to throw! What? It's picked off! Oh my goodness, it's Winfield! Do you believe what you just saw?
No, did I just see that? That was a for sure touchdown. Watch him elevate. Oh my goodness. And he got his foot down and everything. It's going to be the same little tight end hide. There he goes. Now he releases. Watch. It's the air underneath. Oh my goodness.
Minnesota won't have a better play all season long.
Look at this. Man,
my goodness.
We tried to put it in terms, in words, and how important and how good of a player Antoine Winfield Jr. is. And I think that play right there is all the description that you need to know.
Well, we still have a $1:18. The Gophers will take a couple of snaps. Fresno State can stop the clock once. But barring something disastrous, the Gophers are going to go to 2-0. And it was truly all because of Antoine Winfield Jr. and his instincts.
It is so fun to watch this Gopher team with a bunch of freshmen rising up to the occasion, not only on offense, on that huge scoring drive to put them in front, but to see their young defensive players making plays when they need it.
Another kneel down for the 18-year-old quarterback, and that's all she wrote. Minnesota tested to the nth degree, but somehow, because of number 11 in maroon, they pick up a win and move to 2-0. My goodness, everything we wanted and more.
I mean, we've seen some elevation from Tyler Johnson on some of these catches as a wide receiver, but a 5'10" safety and Antoine Winfield Jr. just elevating and hanging up there to make the play of the game.
Wow, what a day of football. When we come back, we're going to have Rob Stowe standing by. Minnesota, they win 21-14. Coming up after this short break, we'll send you to Los Angeles for more college football coverage.